One of the highlights of this year's Children's International
Sorry,
Film.
there is some notification. This meeting is being recorded by the host. Okay, got it. Okay, there was some pop-up window coming because you did start the recording. I had to check it.
That's all right. One of the highlights
Yeah.
of this year's Children's International Film Festival is an animation from Slovakia called Journey to Yourland. And it's my great pleasure to speak to the director of Journey to Yourland, Peter Budinsky. Peter, welcome to Movie Metropolis.
Hello, thank you for having an interview with me.
Pleasure, and it's really nice to talk to you about creating this really quite marvelous animation, which at the core of it is about a mother and son relationship and so on. Tell me about the concept, because I know that I think this is your first feature, and it's taken you quite a long time to get this film up and running.
In Slovakia, in the country where I'm coming from, it's a bit complicated situation in creating of animated films because we don't have a tradition in creating feature films. So as I finished school 10 or 12 years ago, I was really dreaming about creating movies, but I was a bit not upset, but disappointed that as I was creating a short films, it was only coming to the festivals where only small public were seeing it. For example, in my country, in Slovakia, it was screened once or twice, my short films at the festival for 50 people. So I was thinking about, okay, let's start to work on a feature. It will be great opportunity for even the industry, even for myself as a creator, to create something what can come for wide spectrum of publics. That's what was my intention in the beginning, to create a movie which is not only, let's say, artistic kind of movie, but it got like several layers, like it's for kids, it's for adults, it's for festival audience, it's for mainstream audience as well, so everybody can find a topic or the line of the plot in a movie. So I try to satisfy everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah,
good.
I'm not sure if I did answer everything, but you were asking about 10 years. Yeah, that's the beginning. Like there was no like funding ready in Slovakia 10 years ago for financing a feature film, so it was really complicated. And first, I don't know, 5 years we were really struggling and creating small team back then, which we're trying to find financing, co-producers in Czech and Belgium at the end. Yeah, first 5 years was really, really slow of these development of the movie, let's say.
Well, at last you were able to make it, which is fantastic to see.
Yeah, that's great.
Now, in constructing this really quite interesting story, you worked with 3 other scriptwriters, I noticed. Can you talk about that process?
There were more than 3 script writers actually, because in the beginning there was a original script for live action movie, but we were adapting it into animation. So there were another script writers coming to the process. But me as a director, I was always expecting something, and not always I was satisfied with the work of the person. It's not about the person, him or herself, but it was more about my expectations. So sometimes we were changing script writers, and then at the end, when we found a co-producer in Belgium, he said, as everybody who's giving me money, like, okay, let's fix something in a script. So we found the final script writer, and she was really, really great, and we find the perfect way how to create the story together. So it was really great process. But as an animated feature, it was more than 3 script writers. It was 6 script writers, and there were a few like assistants of scripts, let's say, because for me it was really important to polish it perfectly in the beginning, because from that point in the animation, you cannot re-edit something because everything is storyboarded. You've got animatic, and we didn't create much more material, so we didn't have a place to cut some scene in or out because the movie is now 83 minutes, but the animatic was 85 minutes. So there was only 2 minutes which were cut out of the movie. So we didn't have the space at the end for editing. So that's the reason why I was really trying to be precise in a script, that everything works perfect and the dialogues are nice. So yeah.
Visually, the film
So
is
that's about.
yeah, visually the film is quite superb. I mean, first of all, you use mainly 3D animation, but there's some 2D animation, which is really nice. But also the use of that steampunk sort of approach with machinery and robots and all sorts of things. The design process and the storyboarding, as you say, must have been fairly complex.
Yeah. It was like for me from the beginning, when we did decide that we are going to create 3D animation movie, which I'm originally not a big a fan of 3D animated films because it's too perfect for me. I was always trying to find some, like, in visual, let's say, human touch in it. Like me and my art director Martin Hermans from Belgium, the guy from Belgium, we have decided that we are going the way of stop motion aesthetic. So everything what you see in a movie is from this concept of like puppets. For example, when you've got a character, we said, okay, this character in reality is 20 centimeters high. So everything like fabric have to be upscaled, like sewing has to be really huge. You can recognize it over there. So it's not really thin and detailed. So we were trying to find this like different concept. Even in animations, lip sync is created in 12 fps, so it's not really smooth. Everything, like you said, this steampunk over there, we were thinking about the mechanism or the machines which can be built by a kid, let's say. Like you don't have the electronic with zeros and ones, but you've got something what is mechanical pipes, rotating, spinning stuff over there. So it's more like, for me, as I was imagining, as I'm a child, I will much more like this kind of style, because maybe I can think about how does it work when it's something like a mobile phone or this new generation stuff. You don't know how does it work because it's like a magic over there. So that's the reason why we made, let's call it, steampunk. But in the beginning of the process, we said that there is no steampunk word. We said, no, we are not gonna call it steampunk, never. We're gonna create something what we do like.
Okay, and you certainly have done that, and it's a great looking film. But I found it so interesting about this boy who has heart issues, and he has to search for his heart, and gets involved in this adventure. And of course, he's unhappy with his father not being present, and he doesn't. He's not so keen about his mother, and so on. I mean, it's sort of a fairly typical sort of story about a child and coming from a family which has been split. So I really enjoyed that sort of part of the film, as well as the adventure and the fun parts of the film where he explores with various interesting characters. So again, I must commend you on that, because it is so well put together, I think.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm really happy that you really like it. I mean, in the beginning of the process of creating of this story, we were having two possibilities on the table. One was that one parent is dead or died, and another version was about divorce of the family. Uh, but after a while, I did choose to choose this divorcing theme for the movie. We were consulting the stuff with the kids psychologist. He told us like, yeah, like 90% of my clients, like kids, having issue because of divorcing in the families. In global, in the whole world, there is 50% of marriages which getting divorced. So it's a huge amount of the kids. Me myself got this experience from the childhood, so it was like perfect match for me, even to feel or to give the feelings for the main character, because I did experience it myself. It's, of course, it's not the same story. It was completely different in my case, but still the feeling, it's much easier for me as a director to give the emotion if I experience something similar.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, and I thought this divorcing topic I never seen in any other like animated feature. So it was really a great opportunity for me. Maybe there are some animated features with divorcing topic, but I never seen it. It's not like really popular. So yeah,
Yeah.
that was the reason why we chose this one.
Okay. No, you're right. It's not often dealt with at all in animations. And I read that this film is designed for what, 7 to 12-year-olds, perhaps?
Yeah. From we were talking about from 8 to until 12. Then for the adults or
Mm.
older, but still we've got a really nice experience with the kids, which are super young, let's say 3, 4. All of my friends, because of it's my movie, were coming to cinema for the first time with their kids, because before there was a COVID, so all the cinemas were closed. So
Mm.
for the kids in age of 3 or 4 was the first time the opportunity to come to the cinema, and they were telling me like, I've got a crazy kid, they're running around all the time. But as we came to the cinema and movie starts, they were quiet, open mouth, watching whole movie. And they were really like satisfied. Okay, this is really great that our kids didn't run for 1.5 hours. So yeah, we got the experience with the young audience as well.
Yes, no, the film works really well, and it should work really well in Australia for the Children's Film Festival. Um, Tell me, were there any particular animations insofar as the design of the film that inspired you, or any particular types of films or filmmakers?
Yeah, for me, talk about the concept of stop motion animation,
Mm.
like working with the puppets. I always, when I'm working on digital projects, I always thinking about something with the human touch. I was telling you, like something
Mm.
what is coming from real world. Like I like these imperfections. So in our case, like in Czechoslovakia in the past, it was really strong. Stop motion
Yeah,
industry. It was an industry. It was communism. It wasn't. It was everything was state. So, but the stop motion is got really strong culture in here. So it was really natural for me to continue with this aesthetic. Then yeah, I mean everything stop motion for me was the inspiration, or I was always looking at these kind of movies. But
okay,
I don't want to be like saying this is the one, because it
yeah,
wouldn't be fair, like it's
sure.
coming from many paths.
No, I understand. No, that's perfectly fine. So I know the film is going to be screening in Australia shortly, but I noticed the film screened at Trieste, I think it is, Film Festival.
Yeah.
Tell me about that and other festivals the film has screened at.
Um, there were many festivals where our film was screened. I have to say it's our film because it's 400 people working on it, so I
Yeah.
can say it's mine. Yeah, it was many festivals. For example, one of the biggest success was Chicago Kids Film Festival. Um, what they say on their website, it's written over there, it's the biggest kids film festival in the world, and we won the prize for the best animated feature over there. So this was
Mm.
one of the huge success. then yeah, every other festival, it was really great that we were screening the movie. So yeah, I don't know what else to say about the
No,
festivals. It's really for me personally, it's really great all the time. It is screened, as I told you in the beginning, like the original intention was to present my work to huge audience, and as the movie is coming through the festivals for kids, and so the audience is really huge. Then, for example, when I was in Zurich for Zurich Film Festival, uh, I was screening it over there twice, and it was huge hall for, I don't know, 300, 400 people. And it was completely crowded over there with a lot of kids. And they were telling me that, Peter, you're gonna have a Q&A after the screening. I was, yeah, but kids are shy. Usually they are not asking anything because, the old guy bearded standing over there. And after 1.5 hours of questions, the guy from cinema came like, yeah, guys, kill it because oh, we've got another screening coming. So yeah, that was really nice, like experiences for me, that you've got this interaction with the kids, especially because it's a movie for kids. And when you see they really getting the line of the story and they're asking what happened afterwards, or trying to explain something more about the movie, it's really great that you can feel they are getting the idea.
yes, I can fully understand that. And of course, the version that we're seeing in Australia has English dialogue, but I noticed there are at least three other languages that are used for other releases.
Yeah, the reason is that we had a co-production with the Czech Republic and Belgium. So we had to create the movie in English because the team was really international. So everybody was communicating in English. So for the animated, the first dialogues were in English. We were recording in Scotland, and then it was dubbed in Slovak language because it's Slovakian film, into Czech language because of co-production, and Flemish language because of the co-production. So now
Yeah.
we do have four dialogue, four version of language. So.
Yes, no, that happens quite frequently with various co-productions, especially with animations and so on. I also was impressed by the music score that really fitted in the film really nicely.
Yeah, I have to say it to my composer because we are planning to take lunch soon. So yeah, it was a really nice match with him, and we are friends like for, I don't know, 15 years. Like we were never working together before, but we asked him if he can make some sample, or how does he feel about the movie, because I had a previous composer which I really didn't find a way in artistic way. So we said, okay, we have to split, and we are going to find another composer. And I asked my friends because it's the most easiest way, that if they want to try to make some sample, so we choose the strategy that they were sending me the samples, and I didn't know who sent it. So it was like blind test for me, and it was for me more like find the composer who feels it the same from the beginning. And this was a really great strategy at the end, because as my friend Martin Hasak is the name of composer, it was really easy to talk to him afterwards because he was on the same level with me. He did understand or he felt the same way what I was expecting. Of course, we were like, I was directing like, now the emotion should be this way and this way. Now we have to be calm. Now we have to be big or something. But it was really great that when you're working with somebody that important as composer, who is on the same level with you and feel it the same. So you don't need to argue and really look for the solutions, but it's really easy going.
Okay. Sounds like it worked out very well. And tell me, Peter, are you working on another film at the moment?
After finishing the movie, I said I have to take some break because it was really, really a lot of work at the end of the process. So I took not nap. I took a break. But we are running with my wife animation studio. So I was more focused on the commercial stuff, on these kind of things. And now I did start to work on the new one, but it's really early stage. It's only the ideas I'm writing down. I'm rewriting it, and I think it was months ago. We won a prize of the best animated movie in Slovakia. It's like Slovakian Oscars. It's called Song of Sieti, and we won the prize. And it was really like for me, okay, now's the time. Or it, I had these ideas, but at this point I was like, okay, sit down and start writing. And it was really like natural. And I'm telling everybody, I don't want to be pushed. I cannot be forced because it's not going for me creatively. So I need the time. When it's coming, I start writing, and that's it. So now I'm working on new plot for another feature.
Okay, well, be interesting to see what you come up with next. But it's so great that your film has received some awards, which is just fantastic in terms of being able to move on and do more films. So, look, Peter, it's been a pleasure talking to you. We've been speaking to Peter Budinsky, who is the director of Journey to Yourland, now screening or just about to screen at the Children's International Film Festival in Melbourne and Sydney. And Peter, thank you so much for talking with me.
Yeah, it was really nice to talk to you. And again, I have to say it's really pleasure to have interview with you.
Good to talk to you,
So
Peter.
I hope the audience will like the movie.
I'm sure they will. It is a fine animation. I really enjoyed it. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Peter.
Send my regards. Thank
Absolutely.
you. Bye.
All the best. Bye bye.
Ciao.
Bye
Ciao.
bye.